people on my YouTube channel. You can visit YouTube at Finance Coach BK and watch recording of past money conversations. And this is the third year that we're having this financial literacy workshop. We started in 2021. The recording is on the YouTube channel. We also had a very educating session last year. It's also recorded. So the 2022 workshop is available on the YouTube channel. So today I will talk to you about multiple streams of income and how you can grow your wealth from that. But I will lay some foundations before I continue. Of course, if you've been part of it, if this is not your first time, and if this is your first time of joining this workshop this year, you know that the theme of the workshop this year is Journey to Financial Freedom, Keys to Unlocking Your Financial Potential. And everything we're discussing from the sessions we had last weekend and the sessions we're having this weekend, everything is for anyone who participates to get to a higher level financially. I make a joke of it and I say, I want to depopulate the kingdom of poverty. So it's a joke, but there's also a truth in it. It's my passion and the passion of all those who are collaborating with me this year. We want to make sure that people, more and more people, are self-sufficient in their own finances than more reliant on other people. So we want more financial independence for people. And so that's why we're talking to you today about multiple streams of income. I would introduce multiple streams of income. I would explain available opportunities, and then I would also share some tips on when you have your side hustle, the things you need to do to make sure that you make the most of your side hustle. Now, when I'm sharing when I start sharing the examples, it's going to cut across. There's some opportunities that are for young people. There's some opportunities that are for middle management people, and I will also share opportunities for executives. And I also have some points, some examples of how people who do not have so much formal education can also do side hustle and make money out of it. Then we'll wrap up with just a summary of the actions that we've agreed to take from having this conversation. Now, what really is multiple streams of income? We hear it all the time. Well, some of us may have that understanding and some may just not have it. But I want to put it on the table today that when we talk about multiple streams of income, we're talking about you and I generating income from more than one source, more than one opportunity, more than one channel. Oftentimes, people who do not have financial education and people who do not have financial education and understanding believe that they just have to look and work with their traditional, one job. They're excited when they leave school, they have a job, and they have a 9-to-5 job. And let me put it also on the table that we share from our experience, the facilitators and the speakers share from their experiences so that people can learn to do things better. I also, for a very long time, believed in just my very good job, but I learned later that that is not the best way to grow wealth. And so we're sharing this with you today. So if you are a student around the call, or if you are in employment around the call, and you just have your job, your one job that you wake up to, and that you close from around the clock, know that we want you to have a change of mindset after listening to this conversation today. Warren Buffett, and I remember that one of our speakers last weekend used Warren Buffett as an example to teach us about investing early. Now, Warren Buffett says, there's a quote attributed to him, excuse me, where he says that if your salary is your only source of income, that you are one step away from poverty. It's debatable. This is not a physical workshop where we can break into groups and we'll say, different groups discuss this and come back with your understanding. But I want to put it on the table. We can come back to it later. We can refer to it later. But I want you to have it at the back of your mind that Warren Buffett, who is a well-known investor and a very wealthy man worldwide, says that if your salary is your only source of income, you are one step away from poverty. Now, the goal of our conversations, the goal of everything that we do, that this platform brings to people, is financial freedom. I spoke a little bit about it last week. I'll put it on the table again. You are not financially free until you have enough money, until you have enough income, enough money of your own to pay your expenses, which cover your needs and your wants, for the rest of your life without being dependent on other people or on any active work or business. I want to put that on the table because that is the objective. That is the reason why we are talking about having multiple streams of income today. We want to get to that place where we have enough money working for us, enough money doing things for us, and not us working for money. Now, last week, I put it on the table, and I said there is passive income and there is active income. Now, multiple streams of income that we want to look at today will be emphasizing active income. The things, of course, there are other elements of multiplicity of income where you can make sure that your money is working for you. But I will be focusing today on active income. I will be focusing on what a person or you and I should be doing beyond paid employment, beyond self-employment. Self-employment, we might be doing things already for ourselves, but we don't want it to be one thing that we're doing for ourselves. And now the financial freedom that I defined earlier on is when your passive income exceeds your active income. Yes, I know that I said that I'm focusing on active income today, but you have to move from active income to passive income. You have to have enough money with which you can build up savings. From savings, you activate your investment journey, you activate your investment portfolio. So I just want you to understand that there is passive income and there is active income. And the purpose of the conversation today is that as you build up your active income, you want to build it from more than one source. Even as you build up your passive income, even when we come to investments, we'll talk about investments tomorrow. We're talking about investments later today, and Engineer is going to talk to us about investments. It's beyond one source. Let's just have that understanding. Let's not be too comfortable that we have fantastic bank jobs, fantastic consulting jobs, fantastic oil and gas jobs, and just sit back and say we have wealth. Wealth does not grow from being in paid employment. I always teach and talk about ESI model when I talk to people about financial freedom and financial fitness, which is my passion. And the ESI model emphasizes and says that if you can do these three things very well, you are on your path and on your way to financial freedom. Earn more, save better, and invest well. Engineer Niyi will talk to us about investing. The purpose of that conversation is for us to know how to invest well so that we don't make mistakes when we invest and to make sure that we get better returns when we invest. And the conversation around multiple streams of income is for us to earn more. Now I explain it. So just have this understanding. If you're looking for concepts to take away, you've heard passive income, you've heard active income, you've heard financial freedom. Now you're hearing ESI model. Now, just to bring it, and explain again the importance of multiple streams of income. I explained to you that you can have good jobs, you can have fantastic paid employment opportunities, but you are making money. When you are working for someone, you are making money, you're making active income. Now, wealth comes from enlarging your passive income. Wealth comes from enlarging your passive income. So the goal of our conversation, the goal of every one of us around the call, as we seek to build wealth, is for us to move from earning active income to earning passive income. So before you can earn passive income, you have to be well positioned to be able to earn, you have to have enough active income to be able to make use of opportunities when they come and then begin to build your investments. So you cannot grow savings if what you're earning is little. The more you earn, the more you can save. The more you earn, the better you can improve your savings. And then the capacity to save is what will determine what you have to activate your investment portfolio. Quickly, I'm very conscious of the time. It's deliberate that I'm bringing out all these points. I want you to understand how and why you need to pay attention to having more than one source of income. Now, quickly, I also want to put it on the table that it is important that you determine how you want to live. Wealth creation comes easily to people who live beneath their means. There are three ways, when we talked about this last week, we said there are three ways people choose to live. People can, choose to live beyond their means. And I hope that there's nobody around the call who is doing that. And if there is, that there will be a change of mindset after this workshop. So some people choose to live above their means, and some people are just okay, they want to live within their means. But you see, when you live above your means and you live within your means, you have very, very little room for savings. You have very little room for savings, which becomes available for you to invest and to earn passive income. Now, if you live beneath your means, then you have opportunity to grow your savings, and then opportunity to invest, and then opportunity to create wealth. Now, you can see I have highlighted on the slide, I've highlighted on the slide, means. So, and what is the means? It is what you have in your hand. It is what the money that you have, the income that you have, that is the means. And the conversation today is, how can you have more than one source of income? How can you earn more so that you leave enough room for savings and grow investments from savings? There are two streams. I explained it earlier on. There's active income and there is passive income. There's active income and there is passive income. I think I shouldn't spend too much time on that. Let me go quickly to the second outline. Now, what opportunities are available for you and I? What opportunities are available beyond the 9 to 5? I explained earlier on that, whether you're an executive, you're participating in this workshop today, or whether you're a young graduate or an undergraduate, that there are opportunities for every one of us. Now, the starting point is, what are you passionate about? What do you like to do? And what can you do? What skills do you have? That's a starting point for anybody who wants to have a second source of income. The other thing to look at is to look around and say, what products are people in need of, or what services are people in need of? And I say to people that for those of us who are joining in from Nigeria, that the government and the way government is run in Nigeria makes it so easy for us to see many services and products that could be delivered better. So look around you, whichever locality you are in, what are the services that if someone does, can add value to other people? And then don't just start by saying, I've seen a need here, I want to go here, I want to do this. Make sure that you do a feasibility study. Make sure that you check the numbers. Make sure that you ask questions. And don't be scared if someone is already providing that service or product, you can add better value. So, but make sure that you do your homework. So if there's another word you want to put down as part of your notes today, it is do your homework. Now, it's also important to put it on the table that you start small. Don't despise the days of little beginnings, like they say. Don't be too much in a hurry, because when you're too much of a hurry, you cannot grow your business, and there's a tendency to lose money or even to lose steam. So just have a target where you want to get to and the things you need to do and around the business that you want to put on the table. So I thought I should put that on the table. The starting point is, what can I offer? What can I do? What is that thing that is in me that if I do for others, I can make money from? Okay, and what is it that people are in need of around where I live, or even somewhere that I know? Because of course you can have a business without being physically in that location. So quickly, I want to start with the opportunities for young people. Now, before I continue, last year we had speakers who came to share their experience with us. I don't know how many of the 50 people who are on the call today were part of our sessions last week, but I remember saying that our recording of the 2022 workshop has a session by a medical doctor, Dr. Okoha, who made his first million as a student, not as a university student, I think as a college student. So please take your time, go listen to that, go watch that recording and find out the things that he did. It can give you ideas on what you can do, the things that he did. I also, part of last year's conversation also, we had a gentleman who we brought, Teju Babyface, is a well-known artist. He came and he talked to us last year about what we call globalization of talents. In other words, you can be in any part of the world, and offer your services, offer your skills, add value to people, and make money. So whilst the current trend is for everybody to japa, like they say, maybe before you japa or while you're looking at the people japaing, understand that you can make money from Nigeria. Now, I have a friend whose son, I think he would have graduated now from Bangkok, and he said to me that his son was already earning money from Nigeria as an IT expert. Now, we may not all be IT experts, but there are services that we can render from where we are, and people will pay us for this. Now, because I know, because I have gone online to LinkedIn before, I've never met this lady. I have never met her. There's a magazine that I edit that we produce on a quarterly basis for the foundation that I work with. At the time we started the magazine, we had limited editorial skills or resources in the group. I went on to LinkedIn. We didn't know her. She billed us. She billed us some money for editing the pages, and this was in 2018. And so what worked for her was that she put it out there on LinkedIn that this is what she does. I know people also who have put it up on LinkedIn as well. I'm just using LinkedIn as an example, but of course there are other social media opportunities where you can showcase what you are capable of doing. So one of these things that you can do as an undergraduate, or a young graduate, or someone who is already working and who has interest. Remember, I talked about passion. I talked about passion and skills. If you have interest in any of these things, you should understand that there are people looking for this kind of service, or these kind of services from all over the world. I'll give you another example. This is my relative. This is not even someone far away. This is my relative, my husband's sister. She lives in Australia, and she has been looking for, she asked me to get her an office administrator, someone who can coordinate her work, someone who can help manage her schedule, so that she can have more room for her ministry work. That is from as far as Australia. I also know a lady who is based in Canada, I think it's pronounced Saskatchewan, and she's an accountant like me. She's reached out to me at a point and said, okay, I know you are in Nigeria. Can you please get me people who can work on my page, my social media page? Because she sells her services, accounting services online. She said she wanted people who could work on her graphics. And if there's anybody around the call here today who attended 2021 and 2022 workshop, Dr. Charity, who, by the way, was given an award by the American president and is being celebrated all over the world. She's busy, so we didn't reach out to her this year. But Dr. Charity, I noticed at the time that her page was more vibrant than it was. And I said, oh, what's happening? She said to me that she recruited a young person from Nigeria who was handling her page. Dr. Charity is based in America. Now, what am I saying? These opportunities are things that you can render to people in Nigeria and beyond Nigeria. Freelance writing, editorial services. I told you about the magazine that I edit. Now there's a lady that used to write and we used to take some of her articles. And I noticed recently that she's upscaled her writing, her blogging. Now she says that you have to, I think you have to pay for the articles to be used. And I said to the project manager, I think today or yesterday, that we may have to start paying for some of these articles. Because you see, when you're doing what I do, which is editing a magazine, sometimes articles are even difficult to get by. So what's your skill? What's your passion? What do you like writing about? I think it's called Substack. That's where she's got, that's what she's using. And so there are some articles that are free. There are some articles that you have to pay a token to be able to read or to use. Now, many people don't know that money can be made from such. And you can do that on the side, even when you paid employment. There's graphic design, I talked about that. Photography. People think that now because everyone has an iPhone or a smartphone, photography is a no-go area. But do you know that photography is still a high-income area? Now, I explain to you. again, I use the example of the magazine that I edit. If you want to use some pictures to tie to some of your articles, you have to go to some websites where you buy pictures. Some of them are premium pictures that you have to pay for before you use. Some of them are the pictures are just there, and then you are encouraged to give an appreciation or a thank you. And what is in photography? It's to develop your skill or your passion if you already have it, and look for where you can take pictures. You may think that you're in Nigeria, but there are some pictures that are unique. If you go to places, sometimes the busy CMS, pictures coming out of the busy CMS is very attractive to people who are artists. Quickly, social media management, I gave you that example. It can be done from anywhere. Online tutoring, I like to teach with examples. I like to teach with what I know, what I have seen. I remember when my daughter was, she had to learn some Excel thing. And I reached out to someone I had mentored before, and I connected them both. And I said, can you please help her with this? And she was outside Nigeria and he was in Nigeria, but he was available to help her with the Excel tutoring. We didn't pay for that. We didn't pay for that because the gentleman is a mentee, and he didn't bill me. But if he was going to do that with other people, he would bill people. I also have collaborated. The foundation that I work for has collaborated with a gentleman who we met on LinkedIn, who positioned himself as an expert in Excel. We brought him to come teach some university undergraduates Excel. So there's so much you can do. Once I was mentoring somebody who needed, who was a bit depressed and needed, what do you call these people now? A therapist. And I had to look for a therapist, and I reached out to a friend of mine. We went to Bible college together, and she's in England. And she had to start looking through her calendar to know the opportunities to be available. The space in her calendar to fit the person I was counseling into. And guess what? She said she has clients in places as far as Switzerland, different places, because she got to England and she developed herself into a mental health therapist. Now, I'm giving that example, talking about online tutoring, because one of her clients was a student who was completely outside where she was. And when I was asking her for the bill and everything, my sister did not even remember that we're sisters. And if she's listening, she will forgive me. She was billing me in pound sterling, and I was asking for discount. Now, drop shipping, when you take the product of someone and you hold it for a while and help the person sell, sometimes that does not even require you to put any capital down. Food delivery, it's not everyone. It's not everyone who is not everyone who is a logistics person. You don't have to really be on a bike to do food delivery. That's the point. That's where I'm going to. Collins, the comment is interesting. Okay, so it's not everyone who you can do food delivery beyond. It's not only bike men that do food delivery. Let me just put it the way I want to. That's what I want to say. Food delivery. Do you know there are some people who need people that they can trust to help them buy things? Now, whenever I have people in my life who are looking for work, my friends and my young relatives, I always tell them to go run quickly to Instagram and create a page for themselves and for their services. There was a young guy he read French, and he said he was jobless. And I said, you cannot read French and be jobless. Go and open a page. Go and open a page on Instagram and say you teach French. People living abroad who want their children to learn French and are looking for, you may say, what am I preaching? I'm preaching that our services should be paid for less. But it's still better than not having clients at all. So you say you can teach French, you say you can teach Yoruba, you go online and you make yourself available online. People will look for you. Let me tell you people something, and it's a very funny example. When women are looking for what to buy, working class women who don't go to Balogun, they go onto Instagram and they can type Gele shops. If you're on Victoria Island, you can say Gele shops on Victoria. And there's so many people selling online who don't even have shops. So make yourself visible. Online tutoring, what is it that you can teach? Can you teach French? Can you teach Yoruba? You know, my younger sister was saying to me recently how proud she was to see a family who lives in Canada and have their 2 children go on the Yoruba, you know, the Yoruba greeting with their knees down. And she said, sister, the knee touch ground, though, it's not the courtesy that they do for Queen Elizabeth, you know. So there's so many things that people want to teach, you know. I mean, that people are looking for people to teach, especially Nigerians in diaspora. Also, even in Nigeria, people are looking for experts to work with their children. That's enough about online tutoring. I talked about drop shipping. You take the products of someone and you hold it for a while, you sell and you sell on return. Blogging and, you know, video, they call it vlogging. It's very, very demanding. You can ask me. When we see all those things online, so when you have your passion and your skills, also have tenacity, be very ready. Now, blogging, you look for a topic that you like, but when you start, don't stop. Look for a topic. For example, parenting. I see people online talking about parenting, but of course they have to have the experience before they start talking. They have to have the qualification. There's a gentleman, I think his name is, what's his name now? I've forgotten his name, but he does videos around the world. Though that's very expensive because his trips, now he has sponsorship from corporates. Okay, now he has sponsorship from corporates, but he started from somewhere, going to Ghana, going to all those remote places in Nigeria, going to Port Harcourt, to Calabar, all those places, and putting the stories, the cultural stories online. Now he has followership online and is making money from that. Event planning. What I want to say about event planning is that depending on your age, we all can't be the biggest event planners around. We can't be. But there are people who plan small events. Some people do big events. Some people do small events. But what people are looking for is value. People are looking for value. People are looking for value. Now, for event planning, if you are an undergrad, I know they said the ladies join events organizers and they work as ushers, but that's not the only thing that is possible. There's a lot of work that goes into putting all those things up, you know, for different events. Offer your labor. It's only in Nigeria that I know that money will be choosing how it is done before it comes. If you go abroad, when we visit abroad, people that travel know, nobody, you don't look down on nobody. Every job is, there's dignity in everything they're doing. The person that opens the door for you, the people selling tickets at the train stations, the people stamping your ticket when you're on the train, you don't look down on anybody because everybody comes out and is proud that they're able to do something for money. They are proud that they are not eating from handouts. So event planning, make yourself available. Is it graphics that you can do? Is it carpentry? Are you tall? Can you lift things? I know because one of the very senior, one of the top event planners in Nigeria is my friend. She's my friend, and I know what goes into it. As a matter of fact, I've sent 2 people to her that she's employed, and they have a lot of work to do. Most of the time, you know, and this opportunity is good for students because it's ad hoc, okay? So you get paid as the jobs come, but they come in handy. They come in handy. Now, while talking, I've talked about the foundation that I work for. If you were to listen to the administrator, the manager of that foundation, he will say to you that some of the students that we interview before we sponsor them, you know, some of when the applications come to us, the board of trustees, I see things like this student, this is what they're doing, you know, to eat. This is what they're doing to work. To be able to pay the little that they can pay before we subsidize or before we take over their school fees. Most of them work as help. They help as in, how do I say it now? They labor, you know, they help people. Now, there's nothing wrong in making yourself available as a resource for event planners when people are doing that. Quickly, ride sharing, delivery services. I talked about that already. This one is very interesting. And the lady that spoke to us on day one, Madam Bella Waja from Accra, she brings a lady called, I think her name is Leonora, to talk to, because she runs a foundation for young girls in Accra. So I think she's doing a monthly thing. So the lady comes to talk. And one of the things that the lady pointed out, and I will share those details, the link with people who have signed up for this session, so that you can listen to the session and understand very well beyond what I'm saying, how this is done. Now, there are some companies that are looking for people to do surveys and answer questions, and you make money from that. I have a mentor who says every dollar counts. I also say to myself, every dollar counts, every penny counts, every penny counts. So no matter how small you can make from such things, it adds up in the end, especially for people who perhaps are in full-time study or people who are in paid employment. Yes, Amaka, every penny counts. So online service, market research, companies are looking for people to answer questions, to do things, to test products. Affiliate marketing, when I stopped working for my last employer, one of the things I got involved with was affiliate marketing. And affiliate marketing, I was introduced to a group in the United Kingdom who were into property development, and they would say, if you bring a buyer, they'll give you something. Excuse me, they give you something. So, and you can market anything. Just make sure that what you're marketing is legal. Just make sure that it's very, very legal. So affiliate marketing, that's also a possibility for executives. Just look around. You never know what you can market and what the people in your network can buy. Now, mobile app development, that is for people who are IT savvy. You have to ask yourself, I have the skills. Is this something I can develop? Is this something I can work on? Is this something I can make money from? It's not everything that we do that, will give us money in the end, but some of us have skills that I would call almost static right now, because we're just not thinking that we can make money from those things. Do you want to go into, do you have coding skills, all of those things? There are possibilities. Fitness training, after COVID, before COVID, I used to go to the gym physically. I used to try and go at least 3 times a week, for my dance class and all of that. But when COVID came, these classes moved online. And I must be honest with you, post-COVID, I haven't gone back to the gym. I do my classes online. Let me surprise you people. The group that I dance with, that I exercise with, I see new instructors every day, young people. One day, there was a gentleman who was taking the class, and most of the time, because there are different timings, I'm probably alone in the class. And I asked the young guy, I said, because I could hear some, will I call it pork? Or it's not hen. I don't know the English word now. It's cock or fowl or whatever. Making noise in the background. So it showed that he was in a village setting or out of Lagos setting. So I asked him, I said, where are you teaching me from this morning? Kamiru, thank you, Cockrell. Where are you teaching me from this morning? And he said somewhere in Akute or something. And all he needs is his phone, his data. All he needs is his phone and his data. And I take my class, no matter where I am in the world. If I'm in Lagos, I take my class. When I'm outside Lagos, I tell the owner of the outfit, this is the time I want my class to be. And they never fail. I see different people, young people. What does it take? What does it take for you to be a fitness instructor? Just a few, maybe months of learning with the chief instructor or whatever, and then maybe taking some qualifications online. So that's also very important. And I have ladies teaching me, I have men teaching me. Now, handmade crafts, what can you do? What can you create that you can sell? What do you like doing with your hands? What can your hand make that you can sell? Let's go through let's talk about waste to value. Sometimes there are things that we just junk that people can take and use to make something out of. let's think, let's ask ourselves. Yes, thank you, Mercy. Now, car wash services. Depending on where you are, if there's no such business around, because people are not looking for full-time employees in their households anymore. Yeah, bead making, Collins, indeed, bead making. Yeah, I have a cousin who does that, and she does it big time, and she started small, but she's very big now in Abuja. She does it big time for young couples, you know. Crocheting, yes, thank you, Joy. Yeah, indeed. Now, car wash services. So in your area, is there an opportunity to do this? Is there an opportunity where you live? Like I said, people are not having full-time makeup, fantastic. They're all expensive, but you pay, you know, you sow the seed and then you get the you find chinchi, absolutely, and supplying Ebano, supplying people who are traveling abroad, making contacts with people abroad, and you know, selling those, shipping those things to people. Yeah, quickly, interior design consultation, you can do that. You may need to develop the skills. You may need to work with the experts. Yes, kuli and soap. Yeah, I'm going to talk about putting a structure around all this. And thank you for listing these things and online. Thank you, everyone, for contributing and making the conversation, interesting. But as we're putting on the table, let everybody be looking and asking themselves, what can I do? Don't be like me, who worked for 20 years before realizing that there's something called a second source of income that you can do. You know, don't be carried away by what you're earning or by the opportunity that you have now. You know, the richer you are, the more you can help people. Let's face it. The richer you are, the more you can help people. So no matter how comfortable you are, know that there are opportunities everywhere. Food catering, I don't want to talk about that one. I'm sure you all understand it. If it's something you like to do, and you have the skills, just make sure that you're giving value. Make sure that, you know, people can take you for your words, you know. I don't know how many people are around. Yeah, someone's talking about Hidabachi. I don't know how many people around the call love to make moi or to fry akara. The process is too long for me, especially moi. It's very, very long. And at the risk of some people, you know, not, you know, being upset, I order my moi. Somebody says it's not moi, it's my. But you know what I'm talking about, is bean cake, whatever it is called. So food catering, you know, and there are so many busy executives. The organization I used to work for, one of my friends, she was the first person very many years back. She would make egusi in all these small cases. There would be different kinds of soups, and then we were all ordering, you know. She had seen the light at that time. Quickly, I want to talk about opportunities for executives. Some of the opportunities I was talking about earlier on, perhaps we would not be able to say that someone who is a manager in an oil and gas company should go and start doing frying kuli or moi. Somebody said finance coach BK doesn't like stress. Now, but executives can do things like consulting. Okay, what people don't know, especially people who are working for government, have a lot of time on their hands, because, you know, the official working hours of government is, you know, is firm, unlike private companies where, you know, they stretch their staff. So if you're working for government, it's an opportunity for you to use the skills to develop the skills that you're using and use it to do something on the side. What is important is that there's no conflict of interest. You're not taking the stationery of the government and using it in your small business that you have gotten an office for in Yaba. We'll talk about that later. Integrity is very key. But your skills, your qualifications are yours. You know, so for your 824, you can work for the government or work for whatever company you're working for, but you can consult on the side. You know, I think I mentioned it once in one of the sessions that I had, that, you know, when my mom is 82 now, she'll be 82 soon. She was 81 in February. So the roads between Akure, she lives in Ekiti State. We used to bring her to Lagos State for her medicals, okay? And gradually we couldn't do that anymore when the kidnapping on the road started, and, you know, the wahala of flying and all of that. But to even get her from Ekiti to Akure, where her doctor is right now, that illness has to really be serious. The last time we did that was when she was really bad, okay? But in between, guess what? My mom, I make her consult with her, I think it's, gastroenterologist, I don't know. the people that take care of diabetics. She talks to the doctor on the phone. All I have to do is call the doctor in Akure and say, please, can you call mom at this time? If it does require tests and everything, then she will order tests. But when she speaks with mommy, so telephone consultation, what am I talking about? I'm saying you can offer consulting services. You just need to look into what you're doing. I have a young mentee, the daughter of my very close friend. She used to work for, yes, telemedicine, thank you. She used to work for, I don't know the organization, but it's an international organization. She's a chartered accountant, you know, and she came to my house one day and she was saying to me, oh, you know, I do the accounting for your neighbor's brother and everything. And I looked at her, I said, oh yeah, I do that on the side. So I do his financials for him. I do this, I do that. And I go, wow. So she's in paid employment working for one United Nations, whatever company, but as a chartered accountant on the side, she's looking for small businesses. She's looking for, you know, people who are on their own, who should have, people who have side hustles like we're talking about, who need to put structure around that, okay? So you can offer services, investment advisory, if, you know, depending on your qualifications, you can offer that. Online courses and workshops, you know, it's not everybody that does what we're doing for free. Some people package it and they sell it. You can do that. You can teach whatever you want to teach. I was saying to one of my colleagues, we used to be in the same office, and I said, put up this advert for me, this program, can you put it on your DP? And then I hadn't looked into his WhatsApp DP, and I saw, oh, book publishing. I teach people book publishing. So I said to him, I said, Prince, because I call him Prince. I said, when did you start doing this? Oh, said, oh, no, I teach people. Now I help people, teach people how to publish their work and their books and how to sell on Amazon. I said, wow. This gentleman retired from oil and gas. So there's so many things we can do. Okay, real estate marketing. Okay, rental. I think it's about, you know, we have that opportunity back home because it's not so regulated. It's not so regulated. You can do real estate without passing all those exams. So you can, all you need to do is have your ears to the ground and present yourself to people who own houses and who present yourself as someone who can be trusted. Okay, I think who can be trusted. I should remember that I'm talking to executives here. So if executives, real estate, you do, you can market like I said, I used to have opportunities. Somebody told me today about some dollar-based assets in Ikoyi, and I said, yes, I'm not thinking of investing, but I'm thinking of marketing. And I said to her, right after this program, I'll get back to you. Stock trading, digital marketing services. You know, these are high-level things you can do. Content creation, executive coaching. You know, people are looking for who to hold their hands and everything. Quickly, because I'm running out of time, photography is also not only for young people. It's not done only on a lower scale. I know a very senior lady in the company I used to work for. I always see her pictures on Facebook. I see her pictures. She goes and she takes unique pictures when in Lagos, when the sun is setting and all of that, and it's all being projected to give value and to make money from that. Speaking engagements. What are you passionate about? What do you know that you can? What skills and what knowledge do you have as an executive that people can invite you to speak at and pay you for? Okay, health and wellness coaching. I said to you about my sister that we went to Bible college together. She got to England and she went and started training herself in mental health because it's in high demand over there. Freelance work, affiliate marketing, we talked about that. These are things that we talked about when we're talking about opportunities for undergrads, but this is also important. Event planning, travel consultation. Do you have experience? I met a lady once in Dubai, in the market, in the gold market in Dubai, and apologies to pastors around the call who may think this woman is talking about gold. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that, you know, she gave me her complimentary card. And guess what she said she is? She said she's a professional shopper. So for people who, I was just passing through, I think my husband and I were on our way to Australia. And so I just stopped by in Dubai. We had a stopover. So, but she deliberately left Nigeria to go into Dubai. And from all, looking at her, she's quite well-read, she's educated. And what does she do? She shops for people who are not able to travel. So she's able to, she shops for people who are not able to travel. So, but travel consultation goes beyond even shopping for people. If you have been somewhere, you have the experience, you've been all over, you can do that. One of the exercise fitness groups that I belong to, some months back, they started, I don't know how it actually started, because the instructors in that particular group are international instructors. They go all over the world. So they started a joke and said, let's see how many countries you have been to. And people started listing where they've been to. Some people had been to about 23 to 30 countries and all of that. Such people who are executives can offer consultation. They can explain to people things to do and not to do. Quickly, I want to talk about opportunities, because I know that the people around the call are people who have formal education. I know that the least, education level for people around the call will probably be undergrads. But in your life, if you're like me, you would have people in your life who need to hear this, who need to move beyond what they're doing, They're doing one thing. You need to explain to people that they can do more than one thing, okay? I think I once gave this example. If you go into the beauty salons, in some places, you find out that they have the people who do the feet, who do the nails, then they have the people who do the hair, then they have the people who do the face. One of the young ladies that I mentored, my husband and I mentored, we used to pastor a teens church together. I went into this salon one day and I saw this young lady. I was so impressed, Then she was between college and university. And she had been employed as, I'm not sure if she was employed as a hairdresser or something. But as time, progressed, as I went back into that salon, I noticed that this young lady could now do the nails and she could now do the makeup. And I think it was my 50th birthday. She was the one I called to come home, do my face. She was employed as a hairstylist, but she made herself available. She learned how to do I think the only thing I didn't let her do was my nails one day when she said, Mommy, I now do nails. I said, not me and you. But she learned it. And then she learned how to do face. So what am I saying? If you have people in your life that you're mentoring, people around you who do not have the opportunity for formal education like you have, let them understand that wherever they find themselves, they should, move from their comfort zones and try to do more. There are ladies around the call. I'm sure you enter salon sometimes and you see some people, they just put their hands like this. I don't know if my video is still showing. They just put their hands like this and, they don't care. They are waiting. If for a whole day nobody comes to do the particular skill that they were employed for, they will do nothing. Meanwhile, they can push themselves out there and do much more. Now, tailoring and sewing, these are opportunities that people can do. House cleaning services. Thank you, Muiwa. House cleaning services. This is very, very important. Like I said to you, people are not, how many of these people no matter how rich you are, how many of these services can you employ as full-time? So increasingly, executives and people, you don't even have to be rich to clean your house. So you don't have to be very rich to do thorough cleaning. And now there are people who are putting themselves out there and saying, we do thorough cleaning. We do thorough cleaning. Now, I recently visited my mom. My mom, like I said, will be 82 very soon. And she has 2 live-in carers. And they're both over 18. Now, given, yes, my dad is late. And so maybe taking care of the house and all of that is not having so much focus. But my sister and I that visited, we were not so happy. So within 2 days when we came back to, we're not happy about the cleanliness. Within 2 days when we came back to Lagos, we sent 2 people to go join the 2 people employed in that house. And for 4 days, they cleaned. Guess what? We paid. Given those people are people I know, the people we sent there are people I know. But my sisters and I said, we need now to look for a company in Ado-Ekiti who can offer cleaning services so that on a quarterly basis, beyond the 2 living nannies or whatever they are called, we have people who will go and check on them. Now, I know I'm running out of time. I will soon leave the scene for Pastor Niyi. Let me quickly say this. When the Naira was changed or was supposed to be changed during the elections, my friend who lives in Canada said to me to look for 100,000 Naira from wherever, and I should take it to her old mother, and her mom was over 85. I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to say that increasingly, people who live abroad, who have their families back home, are looking for services to make sure that their older ones, just like their aged ones, just like my mom, get the kind of care they should get. And my husband drove me all the way from Lekki. We drove to, I think it's Bagada, to go look for this old woman. And she came out, and I looked at how massive the house was and everything. Anyway, the bottom line is that people need this kind of services, this cleaning services. Put yourself out there. It may not be a job that you get all the time. You may even just put yourself out there, and maybe occasionally with people, you go cleaning. And I remember I said, this may not be for people around the corner, but for people in your life. I don't need to talk too much about car wash. If you live in estates, you see all those young people, they come in and then they take, they clean people's cars for money. We talked about delivery services. We talked about handcrafts earlier on. Now, telecommunications, data and airtime. You can set people who really didn't go to school, they can do this. And you can be educated, abroad, people go to school to read fitness instruction. Yeah, they do. And I think even in Nigeria, I know someone who did that also. So yes, Joshua, you can wash, good. So fitness instructors and all of that, we don't have to, you don't need to be too educated to do that. So now, these things that we put on the table, yeah, pet care. Yeah, whenever I'm taking my walker, I see people who are, walking dogs. You know that the dogs do not belong to them, They have like 3, 4 dogs, but it's to bring money. Who cares? When he's spending the money, who cares how they got them, how the money came? I always say, let it be legal. Let it not harm another person. Let it be decent. Do anything in that realm. Catering, we talked about catering, events and ad hoc. Occasionally, people want people to cook for them. Event planning and decoration. I told you about how the lady I know employed 2 people to work with her because she needs labor. Local artisan work, repairs, agri, handyman services, etc. Now, quickly, I'm running out of time. I always put this on the table when I'm talking about multiple streams of income. Now, I'll give you an example. Yes, home service repair of computers. Is that, what's that thing in Ikeja called? Computer Village. Excuse me, please, my throat gets dry. Sorry that I have to keep drinking water. So let there be a legal structure around your hustle. Now, when the COVID palliatives was being given, I will always use this example. There were some people that there's a couple that I mentor, and I pass around the information, and I put it on my page at that time, that look, they're giving COVID palliatives to young people who have businesses, who can justify their business, etc., etc. Now, my mentee, my friend, my brother, he's everything to me. His wife does Zoborodo. His wife does Zobo and soap. And I know that somebody put it here in the chat box earlier on about making soap and Zobo. And do you know that they couldn't take advantage of the, excuse me. They couldn't take advantage of the COVID palliative because the requirements I don't know if it was Central Bank or BOI at that time, required that whatever business you're doing, let there be, you must have a business name, you must have a bank account, there must be evidence that the business, yes, you can be doing it from your bedroom or from one room in your house, it doesn't matter. But let there be a legal structure around your business. And so they went back and forth and they couldn't take advantage of the palliatives at that time. Branding, whatever side hustle you're doing, keep your word. Is it you want to sow or you want to whatever it is, let people trust you. Honestly, if you know the number of people that when I've gotten value from service providers, I'm always so eager to tell people that this person gives value, this person gives value. So you are the one that can promote your business. You are the one that can promote your business. And let's assume that in an estate, you know, some of these things that we talked about are already being done by people. You can choose to be different. You can choose to be known to be the one that will deliver on time. You can be the one, you can choose to be different and say you are the one that will give change when there's change. You are the one that will, you know, when something is bad, you return it and they return it and you give them back their money. Just be different and people will know you. I don't know if my shopper who shops for me is around the call, but I've seen her grow her business. I've seen her grow her business from pre-COVID to now, and I'm just so grateful to God for her life. First, when she started, you will be sending money to my account, and I'm like, you don't do business like that. With time, she opened a business name. You need to see her on Instagram. She started advertising, you know, and I'm just so proud of her, and I thank God for her. She is her brand. I'm able to tell people, my friend who lives in America is able to order products from this woman. All she needs to do is send her a text and she does it. Why? She's a person of integrity. She has chosen to be different. The last time my sister shops with her as well, my sister asked for, is it a basket or half basket of tomatoes? When her driver came to pick it, I sent it to her. Or I think she came to pick it herself or something. I could see on her face that, she was looking at it, this tomato, you know. When she got home, she called me and said, sister, guess what? Tomato you know. In my mind, when she came and she wasn't looking so happy, I knew that if that was what well thinkers or well grocers, if that's what she gave her, that's what she met in the market. She makes a margin from the commission. So you order, she gets to the market, gets you the best product. I remember once she bought me Iru. I don't know how many people around the call know Iru. I think it's called locust bean or whatever. And she bought me Iru, and I bought a lot because I was winning the family of Maggie cubes. And it wasn't good. And she said, oh, no, mommy, I'm so sorry. And she replaced it. Be different. Make sure that your customers get value. They will sell you, they will market you. I've introduced that to as many people as I can introduce to. Now, I talked about separating business and personal accounts. You cannot be dipping into your side hustle accounts. Collins, you cannot be dipping into your business account as if you know it's your personal account. Make sure that you separate it. I'll give you an example. I think it's 2009 when we started running, when my husband and I co-founded the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation, a foundation that sends people to school. The first warning my husband gave me was not one kobo. Of course, I'm not going to steal the money, but you know, I'm forever grateful to him for this example, this instruction that he gave me. He said, don't ever take from the foundation's money, whether you're borrowing or you're not borrowing. Of course, we have accounts, we have signatories around it, you know, but we also have online access. So don't ever take and say you want to borrow. You know, the wahala that would have gone into reconciling, you know, the wahala that would have gone into reconciling, and any day, any time. This is over 11 years, or almost 13 years going. We're able to raise our hands and say the accounts of the foundation are different from the founders or the trustees. That's one. I also had another business that I was doing. He gave me serious warning about that one. That one didn't even have trustees. The business was him and I. And he said, look, don't let one kobo of this business mix with one kobo of our money. Whenever I remember, because I'm one that I'm very careful with tracking and recording, the wahala I would have done to reconcile would have been much. So if you're having a side hustle, you can, you know, so many of these banks now allow you to open multiple accounts. Even if it's in trickles, let the account of your business be separate. Yes, we have to be self-disciplined. Thank you, Oluyede Adewale. Now, professional support. You want to do side hustle? You know, big shout out and respect to every Igbo man and woman around the call. They are the champions of apprenticeship. There's a reason and a purpose for that. If you need to attach yourself to somebody, you know, let's talk about event management, for example. You can volunteer. The person will be giving you just transport money till you understand that business, okay? And then above all, patience. I've eaten into Pastor Niyi's time, and I'm not sure what, okay, we do have a last slide. Yeah, I like to say that if you listen to everything I'm saying and you don't do anything, you know, you've been contributing in the chat box, I like to say that nothing will change. It's not me, it's Tony Robbins, he's well known, he's an American businessman, he's a motivational speaker, he's a life coach. So if you change nothing, nothing will change, you know? If there's a habit that you have that is bad and you hear all that you should do to improve on the habit and you don't change, nothing will change. Nothing will change. Last week we said if you want to change the fruits, you have to change the roots. So what are you going forward with? Now there are actions to do. Don't leave this conversation today without saying to yourself that you will do something different. Now, all I spoke about were mostly active income. Now, Pastor will come and he will talk to us about investments where, passive income comes from. But don't leave this conversation saying that it's only your salary that you should be earning. Now, that's my position. And so I agree with Warren Buffett. Maybe after listening to me, I don't know if you agree or disagree with Warren Buffett, I don't know. But make sure that you do something. You leave this conversation and say, I'm going to do something. I don't know, I have some friends who work for government. Push yourself. Do something outside what you're doing for government. Identify your passion and your skills. Identify a need around you. I have some very senior friends that mentor me, directors, big people. Once in my estate, we discovered that trashing, recycling of plastics, there's a big opportunity there. But I looked at where I am in life, and my friend looked at where she said she wishes her hands were not so full because there's opportunity in this area. So look around. We don't, we have all those people that come to take garbage and they don't separate into recyclables very well. Look for a service, look for a product that has a need. And what can you do? And if you need to train yourself, train yourself. I have a friend, and I bless God for his life. I thank God for his life, because in the past 2 years, he's been the one editing the Thinking Aloud magazine that the foundation produces. He's a chartered accountant, and he retired from where I retired as a very senior person. Guess what? He went and he learned how to provide editorial services. Now he's doing that for the foundation for free, because the foundation is a non-profit organization. But he developed himself. So what am I saying? Train yourself in that area. If you're a lawyer and you're working for government today, there are so many things that you can do. You just have to create time and develop yourself and push yourself and train yourself in that area. And above all, work with a professional. Not all professionals ask for money. There's some people that are able to help people for free. And then set a target and say, this is what I want to, this is at this time, this is September 8th today, I think. Say by the end of this year, I want to have had another source of income. Now it may be from passive, it may be from active, but don't end the year, and that's just an example, without saying this is where I'm going to end from additionally. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I also always like to put this up. That is all about attitude. Side hustle. Your attitude is very, very important with side hustle. Very, very important. If you are very rude to your clients, one client is potential 100 clients. Trust me. Nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. And nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong mental attitude. I'm going to stop here. Thank you very much. I will stop.